My name is PJ Metz. I'm here to do a guest lecture on using the Web IDE inside of GitLab's UI for the software as a service version, so gitlab.com. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Morehouse, for having us, and for you students for taking this. I look down like you guys are there, but you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started and talk about using the Web IDE inside of GitLab. First off, I'll introduce myself. Like I said, my name is PJ Metz. I use he, him. I'm an education evangelist here at GitLab. I'm from Florida, and I'm into poetry. I'm into music. I spent 11 years as a high school teacher teaching English, and I did 2 years teaching in Korea, teaching ESOL to little kids over in Korea. So I'm really experienced when it comes to like the education world and teaching, and especially like poetry and literature and stuff like that. But I made the move to be at GitLab back in May of 2021, so I'm really excited to be here and bringing my education experience here to GitLab. I'm really into synthwave and 80s music, a little bit of 90s music as well, but if you ever have anything that you want to tell me something about, or if you want to tweet at me about some music, or just tweet at me about anything at all, really, feel free to go ahead and find me on Twitter, Metzing Around. I'm on GitLab at PJ Metz, and I'm on Twitch rather at Metzing Around as well. And sometimes I stream with students on there, so if you're interested in that, let me know, and we can find a way to get a stream together where we talk about GitLab and how you're using it. So what we're going to cover today is what the Web IDE is, how to open it, something called syntax highlighting, and we're also going to cover themes. A lot of this is very like I don't want to say like basic stuff, but this is like the beginnings of really working with the Web IDE without actually sort of specifically like writing code. Like you're just like setting stuff up in this one, really. So a lot of work in GitLab is done in a project, and that's where files and code are stored. So at the GitLab level, you've got what's called a namespace, and then you've got possibly groups, and then you've got projects. And projects are where code actually lives and where you do a lot of work. So the Web IDE is a feature inside of a project that allows you to edit the code directly in your browser rather than locally. So if you're working locally, you might be using Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. You might be using Atom. You might be using something other than that entirely. But the Web IDE in GitLab lets you do it right inside the browser. You don't have to pull the repository locally, make your changes, and then push it back to the repository. You just do it right inside of your browser. So you can open it with this button that you can find right here. So here's a project. This is my Divas Live project. And my Divas project is a collection of Twitter bots based on musical artists that, you know, tweet once a day or when you tweet at them, stuff like that. But inside of this project, there's a button right here, Web IDE. And if you click that, it pops it right open. Or from this screen or anywhere in a project, if you hit the period key on your keyboard, it will automatically open up for you. So we're going to watch this quick video. This is a walkthrough, essentially, of how to do exactly what I just told you. And now you're inside the Web IDE. So to actually make changes, you have to click the files themselves on the left. And these are all the files that are in your repository in the project. That's my Taking Bot Sunday. That's my Badiana Grande. But this is me going all the way back to the repository page. And I'm going to hit the period key now, and it's also going to open. Boop. And then you can make your changes right inside that Web IDE right there. This is me showing you. You can do it directly from a file as well. So this is my divas.js file. And directly from that, I clicked the period button. And since I was on that file, it opened up that file specifically. So real quick, one more time on that. I'm just going to show you again. So I click into this divas.js file. And from here, I hit the period key. Where before it was opening up to a blank kind of space on the right, this one opens up directly in the file that you're in. So the Web IDE will open from wherever you currently are in the project. And that's enough out of you. Thank you very much. All right, so if you're opening it when you're viewing a merge request, so the way that we do work here in GitLab is we do what are called merge requests. And if you're familiar with other Git instances, you might have heard it called a pull request. We call it a merge request. So if you are inside of a merge request, which this is the view from a merge request, that button is present there as well. So you can always open in the Web IDE from the merge request as well. So making a merge request, we're going to check out this video real quick, like I said. So this is making a commit. This is creating a merge request, essentially, showing that there's a difference in the code here. And the green has been added, the red has been deleted. You see I'm creating a new branch right over here. Up here, I'm going to have a commit message as well. So this is the name of the branch. And a branch in Git is you've got your main branch. And when you take that, make a copy of it over here, that's going to be making a new branch. I have a little message here that you put. It's letting people know what was done and why the branch was made or why the commit was made. So I'm updating a bot that I have that tweets at Mountain Dew every day because I really want them to sponsor me. I'm updating that and I'm putting that message there so future me or other people on the project know what's going on. So this is the merge request page. You put why there. And it says like why the change was made, what's the reason, etc., etc. I can't spell mountain like you do. Mountain too. That was not an intentional pun, but here we are. So you're gonna see me scroll down. You can assign it to someone so they know they're the next person, and you can create the merge request. And then once you're inside the merge request, that's where you'll see that button right here. Open the Web IDE. So we're in a merge request. You can see there's a 1 there now, a little notification. And if you click open in Web IDE, it opens the file that you just saw in the Web IDE that we were just looking at. And here we are. It takes you directly to what the difference is between the two. You can still change to other files. Like you can go and look what another file has. You're not limited to just what the difference was in that merge request. You can change anything. Because what will happen is you will update with a new commit what's available in that merge request. Let's say that you are, you notice that another file was not properly configured or needed something extra. You can actually go in, edit that other file too, and make that part of the same merge request. So you're not limited to what you changed the first time. You can make as many changes as you need to, and then you can merge it back in. So main, branch out, merge it back in. It's just me opening up the Web IDE again. And I'll pause it and let's move on. So syntax highlighting is an important part of code, and everyone's got their own preferences. This example here shows everything's in different colors, and the colors represent certain specific features of that language. So this is C# syntax highlighting in a theme called Monokai. It's the reason it's there is for quick scanning of code, so you can find things like a variable, a function, a method, whatever you need to find quick. You'll learn what the color is in whatever particular syntax highlighting or theme you prefer. Our Web IDE currently provides its basic syntax colorization. So it's got stuff for XML, PHP, C#, C++, Markdown, Java, a bunch of others. And it also provides a little bit of Intellisense. Intellisense displays an error and warning and does what are called smart completions, where it's like, oh, are you referencing this variable? And you're like, yes, I am. Really, a lot of this stuff is because you need shortcuts in doing code. If you have to type everything out by hand, it gets tedious. But let's say you're trying to call a variable from before. As you start typing it, the Web IDE will start to recognize, oh, that's the variable they made on line 7 or line 29 or line 469. Like whatever line it's from, it'll be like, oh, this variable, and you can just hit tab to complete, and it saves a little bit of time, and a lot of coding is saving time. So it's not, the Intellisense is not available for all languages, but it is available for JavaScript, which is a lot of people are going to be typing JavaScript. It's also available for HTML and CSS, so if you're doing front end stuff, it's important. Web IDE themes. This is where you decide how your Web IDE looks, as well as really like how, honestly, like all of GitLab looks. All that's done in your options. All the themes are available from your profile preferences, and there's a link there, but here's a video showing us heading there. So you head up to your user picture, head into preferences. The navigation theme is one thing, but then the syntax highlighting theme is down here, and you can see that there's a couple things available. I really like Monokai. It's not the dark, deep black necessarily, and plus I like the little bit of neon that you get in that blue and green. But here's an example of a something I did when I was working with Codecademy, and I just imported it as a repo just to have code on my my GitLab. But that was in Monokai. Now it's Solarized Light. I'm going back, and when I click into the language now, you can see that the theme has changed. So this is a much lighter theme. For me, it's a little bit harder to read. I really like that Monokai theme. That's what I prefer. And then I can put it in full dark mode for the entire website, and you'll see that the theme is actually still the same. So before, the whole website was in light mode. Now it's in dark mode, and it's got the Monokai there. So that's what that looks like. So it's customizable. You can do what you want. And then in the Web IDE, you see in the Web IDE, it's a little bit different here. You'll notice that that color has changed a little bit, right? So let's move on. So that's all for this. This is a pretty quick lecture. There's not a ton that we really need to cover about this, but there is another lecture. There will be Advanced Web IDE, where we talk a little bit more about some of the customizations available. If you want to know more about the Web IDE, you can always visit our docs. And I'll just go ahead and take you guys there now real quick. A lot of the information in this lecture is available in the docs. And honestly, docs should be a place you're always ready to go to whenever you're working with any kind of tech. Hopefully they're done well. Sometimes they're not. It can be a little hard navigating docs sometimes. But our Web IDE stuff is all right here. And it's got a ton of information beyond what we've highlighted in this and the other lecture as well. Some of it won't be as pertinent to you, but you get what you need out of it. Don't forget, always Control F or Command F. If you're on a doc, you can always be like, well, I'm trying to find stuff on themes, and it'll take you right to it. That's that. This was a quick lecture, I know, but there really wasn't a lot that we really needed to cover. I really encourage you guys to play around with it, sort of get in there and just mess with your repo, click buttons, see what happens, see where you're headed, and happy coding. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you.